Here's what happened this week at City Council.
It was very important that we discussed a veteran employment program that the city of El Paso must initiate in order to reach a goal of 15% hiring rate by 2025. In the area of veteran homelessness, we discussed a veteran homeless permanent supportive housing plan. It's a rapid rehousing plan that will take at least 25 of our veterans off the street.
In this report, Dr. Ocaranza provided a comprehensive health assessment and update on the transmission of the virus in El Paso. But we also detailed how we've expanded testing in our community and are continuing to make it more accessible for both symptomatic and asymptomatic residents. We've now tested over 5% of our city, and we're exceeding 1,000 tests a day.
This year we had over 1,800 participants, and the results of Chime In show the priorities of our community. This year's results are: number 1, streets; number 2, community health; number 3 is public safety. We have also scheduled focus groups for the month of June, and we're meeting with the various sides of town and those participants that are interested in telling us what about streets is important to them, and what about community health is important, as well as the importance of public safety to each side of town.
What was presented on Monday showed council the progress that we've done to date, where we contracted over $100 million this fiscal year over the first 9 months. Also tracking expenditures over $80 million to date in fiscal year 20. And we'll also be presented to council is the direction that we're proceeding with, where we're starting to move with some of the quality of life projects. Now that we've gone through the initial response to COVID-19, that we're ready to move into making projects that are quality of life in general, such as NIP projects, recreation centers, and parks that are already in place. Continue with the construction of those projects, as we already have the cash in the bank for those.
This is an important step forward as we continue moving from crisis to coexistence with the COVID-19 pandemic, on how we will be able to continue to provide excellent customer service amenities to our community on a scaled level, focusing on quality and on regional services.
We're starting to see a lot of uptick in passenger activity at the airport to where we hit the 1,000 passenger mark in late May, which is pretty exciting for us at the airport, given the lows that we saw in April. At one point, I think our lowest day was around 250 passengers compared to over 5,000 that we typically see on a daily basis.
Some of the highlights that we did on it were in regards to some of the new programs. A brief history: we implemented the community policing philosophy in 1995, and recently some of our new programs, such as the crisis intervention team in 2018 with 14 officers, 3 sergeants, and a lieutenant, as well as 14 members of the clinical staff assigned to it. And in 2016, we also had the Metro unit, which is 41 officers, 5 sergeants, and a lieutenant.
The update is important to really keep in front of council and let them know what we're doing with our grants, that we're keeping up to date with our reimbursements. All the money that we're requesting, we've got 100% paid from TxDOT, and then to let them know what phase our projects are: design, construction, and completed.
Item 20.1 was discussed, which was an interlocal agreement between EPISD and the City of El Paso related to the Hugo Meyer baseball field at Washington Park. This will allow EPISD to use the ballpark for practice and games for Jefferson High School, and in exchange, EPISD will be putting in $1.7 million worth of improvements to the field, which include things like new bleachers, improvements to the turf, lighting, a press box, and most importantly, bathrooms, all of which will be available to the public as well.